the terminology. And we start by talking about corporate governance. So corporate governance talks about the system by which the current and future use of ICT is directed and controlled. It normally involves evaluating and directing the plans for the use of ICT to support the organization and monitor the use of ICT resources that relates to a corporate organization. So the corporate governance looks at the entire organization and looks at also how customers and suppliers will perceive the governance procedures. Then also in the terminology, we look at enterprise governance. Enterprise governance. So what is enterprise governance? Enterprise governance talks about a set of responsibilities and practices exercised by the board and executive management with one goal, that is to provide strategic direction and ensure the objectives are achieved. That is now enterprise governance. So for both the enterprise governance and corporate governance, we need what we call ICT governance. Because without ICT, both of those two will not be able to succeed. So we also need to define what ICT governance is. ICT governance is a technique normally defined as the responsibility of the top managers or the board of directors to define procedures that will ensure proper use of the ICT resources and proper management of the ICT resources. We are normally told that for effective ICT governance, an effective ICT governance will answer three questions. Now the three questions are: what decisions must be made? Another one is how are they made and monitored? That's how the decisions are made and monitored. And who should make these decisions? So that is what ICT governance looks at. We don't just make decisions for the sake of making them. We ask ourselves, why are we making the decisions? And the organization must make sure that those who are making the decisions are well trained and well known so that they can be able to take responsibility. Now, still in ICT governance, we say that it is defined. It can be defined as the organizational capacity exercised by the board of directors and executive management to ensure proper control and formulation, as well as implementation of IT in the organization. If I want to introduce ICT procedures in the organization, I need to think about the ICT governance. How will I be able to control and implement the activities in the particular organization? Now, next we look at is objectives or goals of ICT governance. The objectives or goals of ICT governance. Why is it that organizations should think about the objectives or goals of ICT governance? The first point is to ensure that the investments in ICT generate business value. If we don't govern how the ICT hardware or how the ICT software or how the other resources are used, then we'll not be able to achieve the business value. Number two, as the objective, is to mitigate the risks that are associated with ICT. Governance helps us to identify, assess, and mitigate the risks that are likely to occur as a result of the use of ICT. The number three, under the objectives or goals, is to reduce the cost of ICT operations. We don't want to spend a lot of money on the ICT wing of the organization. So if there's proper governance, that means the failure rates will be low and will reduce the cost. Number four, to ensure proper use of ICT resources. Governance will ensure that people are trained on how to use the ICT, the data, the software, the hardware, and that relates to that particular objective. And number five, to improve data security and also to enhance data privacy. That is courtesy of governance. So for us to make the correct decisions in ICT use, those goals are very, very important in the running of ICT in the organization. The other subtopic that we look at in this lesson is talking about ICT governance areas.